Algoritors, welcome back. It's Thursday, February the 26th, 2026. And everybody, come on in here. Come on in here. I got an announcement tonight. Come on in. Come on in. And you don't want to miss it. Come on in. Come on in. Before I make the announcement, let's see who we've got joining us tonight. Sandra McGee, 5089. Sandra McGee, is always good to see your name when I sign on. JP Phillips, JP Mills, 5643. Happy Thursday. Nisha Phillips. Oh, I feel like we are a family now. Nisha Phillips, come on in. Come on. Brenda K. So good to see you tonight. Come on in. Edita. Happy Thursday. SL Warrior. Come on in. Sandra McGee. Good to see that name, Sandra McGee. Deliria Washington. All right, we wouldn't be Celebrity Court without Deliria and all those great comments. Val Rice, thank you for joining tonight. Come on in, everybody. We have an announcement. Let's see, Camille Lindsay, is that a new name? Hello from DC. Come on, DC. Northwest right here. I'm in the Northwest. Colette Davis, our DMV real estate mogul. Come on in here, Colette Davis. Leandra, 7140. What's going on? Bernard Carey Smith seems like a new name, but we're glad to have you. Hey, brother, I am her. I love that screen name. Good evening. Sharonia. All right, Sharonia K, this is me. Let me know that I pronounced that right. Come on in here. Fuzzy Bingalow, come on in here. Caramel, 1977, wouldn't be a show without you. Brownie Simone, I was a little bit worried, but I see you made it. Nick Knack, 86, come on in. Dominic Starr, thought you didn't make it. Come on here, Damara. Danielle Cameron, you know we're always ready for you. I might have to take off some more tonight. And Christine R, as well as my Star Love. Okay, everybody, really quickly, because I have some tea to spill, or before we get to the tea that I've got to spill, I have an announcement, and I want to know what you think about it. All right. We are officially, as of February 26, 2026, breaking up with the term algoritors. That's right. You heard me correctly. We are breaking up with the term algoritors, because why are we acting like my fans are science projects and not a VIP section? I really feel like I've gotten to know each and one of you, and I really think that we need a different name instead of algoritors. It seems so hard and so kind of weird. So guess what? I feel like my life, as well as your life, is too premium to be named after an app that changes its mind every 48 minutes. So let's make it official. From now on, all my algoritors, everybody who's joining me tonight, we are no longer algoritors. Guess what we are? We are the A-listers. Yes! Let me give them a round of applause. We are the A-listers. Because I chose A-listers because y'all show up like it's a red carpet. Y'all are consistent. You think like, you're smart. And your judgment is very keen. And I like it for the courtroom, respectfully. So starting tonight and moving forward, if I can remember, because I am absent-minded, we are going to be calling ourselves the A-listers. You are the A-listers because you're my jury, and I appreciate that. All right, everybody, give me a round of applause if you like the new names, the A-listers. I feel like it's so appropriate for all of you. I feel like that's just what our family should represent. We're A-listers. All right, anyway, tonight, I hope you guys enjoyed as much as me. Tonight, the episode is titled Floor Sleepers, Church Chaos, RICO Talk, and Ice Cream Court. Before we get started, I still want to announce for the whole month of February that we have new days. The new days are going to be on Mondays and Thursdays. That's Mondays and Thursdays at the same time, which is 9:30 p.m. Also, starting in the month of March, I got another announcement. In the month of March, we're going to move back to 1 solid hour so that we have more time to introduce and talk about all of the topics that we're covering. All right, we got all the information and all of the announcements out the way. Let's get on with tonight. Yes, tonight on Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, I'm coming in spicy because these stories are exactly why contracts exist and PR teams stay employed. Now, we got 4 headlines. We got 4 legal lanes, and every one of them is a cautionary tale about what happens when celebrities meet paperwork, and the paperwork starts clapping back. First up, we have Kanye West. He's headed toward a jury trial bought by a former employee. Yep, you heard me correctly, who claims he was forced to sleep on the floor of a gutted Malibu mansion while being owed major wages plus disability-related claims. That's not just bad vibes. That's labor code exposure and receipts warfare. Can't wait to break that down with their attorneys. Next up, we have Don Lemon. He gets hit with a civil lawsuit for emotional distress tied to a Minnesota church protest disruption. While separate federal charges connected to the same incident hang in the background, there's one attendee who says, I'm suing him for emotional distress. After that, Kim Kardashian and Ray J are still fighting it out because Kim K says Ray J's public RICO racketeering talk could jeopardize her lawyer goals because character and fitness is one of those things that you have to pass in order to get your get your license. And we're going to talk about exactly what is character and fitness and how is that related to a crime. It's about credibility, judgment, and what you publicly put your name on. And last but not least, Tyra Banks. Yeah, you know Tyra Banks, all the rave on this new Netflix special. Well, guess what? She's wanted in the DMV right here in D.C. Tyra Banks wants over $50,000 in sanctions in a D.C. ice cream shop dispute dropped. She wants out of it because she says, quote, this isn't a lawsuit. It's a celebrity shakedown and sprinkles. Now, remember, this is not a criminal court. This is a court of public opinion. And here I bring the facts. My attorneys bring the law. And you, the viewers, my new A-listers, you are the jury. Court is officially in session. And joining us tonight, we have two of our brightest legal beagles. We have Shatan Turner and Sean Carter, counselors. Welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Glad to be back, Your Honor.
All right.
Great to be here. By the way, Your Honor, we got a couple of super chats. I think you want to take off some robes.
Let me see. Let me call these super chats out here.
All right. Hot.
First up, they sure are. Right off the top, we got our first super chat. Is Bernard K. Carey Smith. Bernard, thank you so much. Hey, High Maintenance is here. Come on in here, High Maintenance. Thank you so much, Bernard K. Thank you so much. Also, we have Danielle Cameron. All right. Hey. Danielle Cameron, don't tempt me to have a good time right now. Don't play with my feelings now. Don't play with my feelings. Who else? We have another one from Danielle Cameron. So that's two. Okay, Danielle. All right, I see you. Danielle Cameron says to all the legal beagles. Let's see. I love it, Your Honor, because we're classy and demure. Yes, we are. My A-listers are classy and demure.
And they don't use their Tussie Cats to pay their bills.
Well, then they go to waste. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, Leandria has given us a super chat. Come on, Leandria. Thank you so much.
Bands will make him dance.
Oh, that is a fact, baby. That's something you will know about me. Bands will make you dance. Okay, first up, everybody, our first case is Ye and a former employee, and his name is Tony Saxon. Now, the allegation is here, Tony says he was hired as a project manager, a caretaker, and a security type role. He was promised significant wages and claims he ended up working under makeshift conditions. Yes, including sleeping on the floor of a gutted Malibu property. And let me say this clearly, sleeping on the floor isn't illegal, but not paying people is. Now, that's where the state of California starts licking its chops, and especially when a celebrity is involved. So in this case, we're talking about the labor code. We're talking about, which I can't wait for Attorney Carter to break down, what does the disability part mean? We're also talking about receipts in trial because he has made it to jury, which means there must be some type of significance to this. And then last but not least, we have to talk about the lien and the countersuit warfare. All right, Attorney Carter, take it away. Now, wage theft basics, right? What do juries actually latch onto? Do they latch onto text messages, verbal, written contracts? Does he have to have a written contract? Like what's going on here with the wage theft claim?
Now, in California, you can do an employment agreement just with a wink and an emoji. You up at 3 a.m. text is enough. in California for a wage contract. Now, here's the thing is interesting. Let's be clear. We understand what happened here. Kanye bought a $57 million mansion, looked at it and said, this don't look enough like a crack house. I need you to take everything out of here. Take the electricity, take the walls, take everything out. I want to live in a crack house. And I'm not kidding, all right? He didn't call it a crack house. He called it, I'm off the grid. I'm living rustic. And so we hired this guy to basically tear his house up. Now, obviously, he wasn't going to give the guy nice furniture and fancy stuff because that guy was supposed to take out those walls, all right? And so as a result, he's like, man, I'm going crazy here. Kanye said, I'll make it worth a while. 20 grand a week. 20 grand a week, people. That's over $1 million a year. All right. For those who all right. So I don't know about you, but I'll wreck your house for about $300,000. All right. So he's more than happy to do the work. And he's there 24 hours a day because contractors are coming in and knock the walls out and all that stuff. And he's like, Kanye, you're being crazy. I can't do all this stuff. We got permits because no one wants to live next to a $57 million crack house. Right. And so Kanye, he says, I'm hurt. I fell down the steps trying to take this chimney out. And he's like, hey, do what I told you to do. He's like, I can't do anymore. So Ye says, get out of here. Get out of my crack house. I'll make a crack house myself. And now the guy sues and he says, hey, you owe me for a number of things. Shaitan will get into some of those, but here's what you owe me for now. I want my 20 grand a week. I was there for 7 weeks and you didn't give me the money. Now you did give me $240,000, but I had to spend 220 of that, all right, to get this crack house thing going. And so you still owe me another $100,000 and some other injuries, which we'll get into in a minute. But that's basically what happened here is that the guy is saying, hey, we had a verbal contract. And now how do you prove that? Obviously, it helps if you have text, but you don't have to have, it's not like real estate. You don't need to have a notary or anything like that. If there's just a handshake deal, you in the club and you say, hey, you know what? I want you to be my house wrecker for $20,000 a month. That's a contract.
All right, let's go to you, Attorney Turner. Talk to me about this disability claim. What must be proven for failure to accommodate, and what is the biggest defense argument? No notice, no request, no undue hardship or performance. What do they look for in disability claims?
So for disability claims, in this case, as Attorney Carter indicated, this guy said that he hurt his back and that Kanye failed to accommodate him, and that's why he was terminated. So in order to prove a disability, you have to show that you are substantially limited in a major life activity. Major life activities cover the gamut. And one that Your Honor might be interested in knowing is if you can't have sex, that's substantially limited in a major life activity. So the courts have gone and defined and clarified what that means. And so in this case, he's saying my back hurt so bad that I couldn't do normal activities. And that qualified me and made me disabled. Once someone is disabled under the Americans with Disabilities Act and or under California law, then their employer has an obligation to provide reasonable accommodations so long as it doesn't cause undue hardship. And so the undue hardship burden, if you will, is dependent upon the organization and the resources that the organization has. So if you work someplace where, they're a $40 billion company, then the likelihood that your reasonable accommodation request is deemed to be something that would cause them an undue hardship is less, or you don't have as great of a chance there. The company doesn't, of defending and saying that it would be undue hardship. But if you work for a small business, the ADA is premised upon an employer having more than 15 employees. And so if you have like 16 employees, what's an undue hardship there is likely going to be a much different standard because it's subjective.
Okay, let's go really quickly to our chat real quick now. Caramel 1977 says, I bet he slipped on some baby oil at one of those Diddy parties and hurt his back. Now, I'm going to say what everybody's thinking. Like, first of all, sir, you sleeping like that for 7 weeks on an air mattress, you did that because you were working for Kanye West and you thought you had hit the freaking lottery. You thought you were going to get paid all this money. And when you realized that he didn't take his meds and he didn't like what you were doing, I think then you had to come up with a way to kind of get your lick back. I don't know who took on this case, but Attorney Carter, you have to tell me, how did it end up in jury? To a jury trial, because it seems like to make it to get a jury trial, you had to have some substantial evidence of some type of extreme wrongdoing. Is that right or wrong?
Well, absolutely. But here's the question. We all agree that probably Kanye owes him some money, right? I know Kanye wasn't even sending over nothing, right? And so the real question is how much? And so that's going to be what the jury has to decide is he entitled to, not $1 million. $1 million is ridiculous. He's only saying that he's entitled to, I think, a salary 7 weeks, so $140,000. The other $860,000 is because my back hurts or I'm disabled because I can't have sex no more. And that's not going to work well. Let me tell you why. I can't have sex no more either. You know why? Because I'm married. That's how that works, right? And so, by the way, I'm suing my wife. If you're listening, baby, I'm suing you for $860,000. All right, for 33 years it is. We're gonna sue, but the point is, we'll get to that later. The point seriously is that pray for me. The point seriously is that there is a question of fact. That's how you get to a jury. And just so we're clear, the way you get to a jury is that one or both people is lying a little bit, and most of the time, both people are lying a little bit. And so, if they can't agree on the facts, Kanye says, I paid you. And he says, no, you paid the contractors. Now, the good news is there are going to be receipts about this. And they're going to know who did work because the contractors certainly put their time down because they wanted to get their money. And so we'll know pretty clearly how much he got and how much he didn't get. He's not getting a whole million. But that said, though, Kanye, put the house back together, man. Come on, man. You can't have a crack house in a nice. You move in my neighborhood. You want to have a crack house. You move right here. But come on, man. Don't mess up Malibu.
Miss Carter, I got a message for Miss Carter. Miss Carter, can you break out a slip for this man? All right, let's go to the comments real quick. Christine R says the long-winded estrogen gives me life.
That's my girl.
Danielle Cameron says that man can't throw that thing in a rhombus with a bad belt. SL Warrior says he didn't have a bed or a toilet or running water. Got to pay up. All right. And then SL Warrior said he could have gotten someone from Skid Row for free. All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong do you think this worker's claim is, Attorney Turner?
I actually think it's quite high because one thing that we didn't say is the reason he's in front of a jury is because this is in California. California has one of the most employee-friendly districts and circuits in the country. And so this is, in California, it's pretty much you get sued as an employer and you write check. Other places you have some real defenses. And so as Attorney Carter said, it's a question of how much are they going to pay. So I would say 9.5.
Okay, Attorney Carter, 1 to 10.
I'd agree. And the only real question is how much does he get? And that's going to be interesting because like you said, I mean, $1 million, I sleep on that cot, all right, for a lot less than that. Kanye, if you need me to make your next house do a crack house, call me. All right, I'm going to be on the couch anyway after tonight, so you might as well go ahead and I might as well sleep on the air mattress and get some money out of this.
All right, now from wages and workplace power to a courtroom fight, that's basically, was he reporting the protests or being the protest? Yep, poor Don Lemon is back in celebrity court. The second case is exactly about him and his role. Reports say a woman is suing Lemon, claiming emotional distress tied to a protest disruption at a church in St. Paul's, Minnesota. She's also alleging interference with her ability to worship. Now, at the time, there are separate federal charges. At this time, there are separate federal charges connected to the same incident, which we all aware of. And Lemon has framed this as her lawsuit being a retaliation against him and his freedom to press. And this is why lawyers tells clients, if you got a criminal cloud, don't open a civil umbrella because everything you say can become discovery. Now, is this true, Attorney Carter? So someone, after hearing all of his what he professed as what his legal rights were, then came back and filed a civil lawsuit saying that he emotionally distressed them. Break this down for us, and how is this? It just feels to me like somebody on the other side is trying to add extra law bills.
That's entirely possible, Your Honor. So what happens is one of the parishioners at this church was a woman named Ann Ducey. I'm sorry, that's not right. Doucette, close enough. And she decided that, you know what, this black man in my church has had me upset. I'm all in my feelings, and therefore he owed me $4.8 million. She didn't even name the amount. She said basically, give me as much as you think a black man has. All right. And here's the thing about it is she's saying that he was, she suffered emotional distress, and actually intentional emotional distress. He came to the church just to piss off this one white woman. And I think Don came to piss off all the white women, but that's beside the point. All right. And the argument is the same argument from being a federal case. He says, I'm just a reporter. I'm just here doing my thing. And what she's saying is, no, you were orchestrating this. All right. You were part of Operation, what was it called? A pull-up. And as a result, you're going to be wearing pull-ups because I'm taking your pants.
Dang. Attorney Turner, answer me this. What's the difference? Because she filed both intentional infliction of emotional distress, which is IIED, as well as negligent infliction of emotional distress, which is INIED. What's the difference and how does this happen?
It's the difference between doing something on purpose and doing it by mistake. So intentional means you did it on purpose. Negligent means you did it by mistake. In this case, she's trying to get, 2 bites of the apple, a bite on every side, hit me on one cheek, punch me in the other. She's trying to do whatever she can to get a bag because she's saying either he did it on purpose or he did it by mistake. So I think one of them is going to ultimately get thrown out because they're inconsistent claims. In this case, I know that Don Lemon would not be checking for me, but he is handsome, so he could come interrupt my worship anytime. But seriously, but no, for this, I think this is a very precarious position for Don and that group because a place of worship is generally deemed to be sacrosanct, right? And so it means it's precious and it's entitled to being protected for the sanctity of it. And there's been a lot of legal activity about that lately with all of the, violence that's happened in churches. It's like, how could that happen in a house of worship? Because people have the right to be safe there. And so you can't really have it both ways. They have the right to be protected against violence, but not against your protest. And so I think this will be a very interesting case, regardless of how Don Lemon's criminal case turns out.
Got it. Sandra McGee says, girl, bye. Sit down with the BS. Danielle Cameron says, Trump got these people losing they darn mind. Trumpers are trumping like they ain't never Trump before. That I agree. Leandria says she's full of shit. I am her says, why just him? He wasn't the only one there. I asked the same thing. Attorney Carter, really quickly, because we got to shift to the next story really quickly because we're running over time. Tell me the whole law about the church and not being able to go in the church as a journalist to interview people when it's interviewing the people of the protests.
Well, and that's really the whole question, right? You absolutely have a right to go into the church. Well, I shouldn't say that. Remember, the First Amendment only applies to the government. The government can't infringe upon your right of the press, but the church doesn't have to let you in. So you could be caught for trespassing, but more they're saying that he didn't just trespass. He didn't just walk in. He orchestrated this. The night before, they all sat down with pizza and beer, and he sort of orchestrated this whole thing. This is part of the federal government's case. And what they're really trying to do in a nutshell is to put some extra pressure on him. Because remember, if he has to testify in the civil case, he can't plead the Fifth Amendment there. Right. He can't take the Fifth. He has to say what he says. And if you lie there, then you can get caught and they can introduce that in the criminal trial. So they're basically trying to squeeze him on both ends. I don't even think that this woman cared at all. I think she's a big Trump supporter. And,
I think somebody approached her too. I think this definitely smells like a setup to me. All right, really quickly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is her case given the current political environment is the question of the hour. Attorney Turner, what say you?
I think her case is about a 6.5, and I don't know that the politics are going to influence the outcome here because intentional infliction of emotional distress and negligent infliction of emotional distress are pretty well developed concepts under the law, and I think they'll be decided under those principles.
All right, Attorney Carter, how strong of a case you think this white parishioner has, parishioner?
It's as strong as the number of white jurors she gets on the jury.
Oh,
so if she gets 8 or 9, then I guess it's 8 or 9. If you get 12, Don, you're gonna become. You can go live in Kanye's crack house because you ain't gonna have no house.
Okay, you know what? All right, everybody, you heard it here. Please do me a favor. Be sure to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, don't forget to hit that share button. Invite some folks on to learn the law off the back of these celebrities. As always, don't forget to turn on your notifications because we're on at new time. And not a new time, a new day, but a longer time. And last but not least, continue to jump down in the comments. Now, Blaze Brown 9102 says it's a money, I think, grab bad, allegedly a Trump supporter. All right, yep, that's what we heard. All right, case number 3 is the most interesting thing I have seen as of late. That's right. Kim Kardashian says Ray J's public talk about, quote, RICO and racketeering could jeopardize her lawyer goals. And for the people at home, becoming a lawyer isn't just passing a test. What I learned was you've got to also pass what's called a character and fitness evaluation. And that means your public life becomes paperwork. Well, does that mean her little nasty sex video becomes paperwork too, Judge? I mean, counselors, I can't wait for us to talk about this. So in this case, we're breaking down defamation. We're breaking down character and fitness. We're breaking down RICO, all of the things that make her look like a horrible potential lawyer. All right, Attorney Carter, give us the tea.
So the bottom line is this, all right? Kim has sued Ray J in October because Ray J has been going on every podcast he can go on. He's been on this show 3 times to just simply say, Kim has been doing RICO stuff. Now, he think RICO is that guy from the 90s who had that one hit song. Ray J don't know what RICO is, all right? but Kim is like, hey, you ruining my life. You ruining my career, and you keeping me out of the bar. When you become a lawyer, one of the things you have to do is you have to go before the bar, submit an application, and they have to clear you of moral character. Stop laughing. I know it sounds ridiculous that lawyers are moral, but apparently we're moral before we start. All right, you can't go in there crooked. You get crooked later. And so you have to file out all this stuff and say, hey, you know, I didn't brush my teeth yesterday. I had 3 cavities when I was 7 years old. I jaywalked 7 times. You have to disclose all your stuff. And so she's saying, hey, I got to now tell people I got this civil suit for RICO. And now this is going to keep me from getting in the bar. Now, what's going to really keep Kim from getting in the bar is that she can't pass the damn exam. Right? Don't act like we don't know you didn't flunk that thing already, girl. But that said, one thing that might help her is, Bailiff, show that last picture of Kim.
With her mother at the wedding?
Please, because this is evidence. That's all you need to submit. Just put that picture inside the application. You good, girl.
Oh, you know what? You dirty old man of your
it's true.
Applications. All right, Shaitan, tell me about the RICO. What is he saying is the RICO? How is he saying she is RICOing?
That's part of the problem. He's saying it's her and her family, and he's not really giving any support for it. That's why Attorney Carter indicated he was talking about Rico Suave. Like, he just throwing it out there because, you know, he watched the Diddy trial and he said, isn't everybody in RICO? So that's kind of how it's coming up. And the funny thing is, who doesn't appreciate this irony though? Kim created her entire persona and career on her back and that Ray J video that they made. Mm-hmm. So the notion that Ray J is now potentially going to take her down, and he's been complaining that he ain't get enough money from that video anyway, so he may have long-standing beef. I just think that this is the story that keeps on giving. In North Carolina, where I took the bar, I'm licensed in Pennsylvania, but I waived in. They take the character and fitness so seriously that they make you have an actual interview with other lawyers before they admit you to the bar. But guess what, Attorney Carter?
What?
They didn't start having that requirement until Jim Crow.
Oh, wow.
Black people started applying lawyers. So by people come in, they were able to determine their race, and that influenced the acceptance. Isn't that something? So in Black History Month, I have to say that I am blessed that I was born at a time and I was able to get admitted to the North Carolina bar, because there was a time when I wouldn't even be here.
Oh, all right. Brenda K with the super chat. Let's go. Let's go.
Another A-lister.
Attorney Carter. He has to pass. Go first, right? All right, let's see what some of these comments are saying, because that's interesting what you guys share. Val Rice says she didn't pass the bar, plus low moral character. Nisha Phillips says Ray J is still a clown and so stupid stuff just to stay in the news. I agree. Something. I'm sick of this acting. I just feel like it's not only diminishing his brand, it's diminishing Brandy's brand and their mother's brand, who works so hard in entertainment. Let's see who else. Danielle Cameron also says. Daniel Cameron says, why don't she focus on passing? Because morality went out the window when her mama sold her Tootsie. Blaze Brown says, if she really trying to blame Ray J for fell in the bar, oops. And then Raquel Rogers says he's getting his lick back. And Def God says Ray J is snitching. And Caramel 1977, let's go. $10 super chat. Let's go. Val Rice says Black History Moment. Thanks, Shaitan. That was really cool. All right, algoriters on us. I mean, not algoriters. All right, 8 listeners. Let's hear what the lawyers have to say about the 1 to 10. How strong is Ray J's case? Attorney Carter, give us the tea.
It's a 0. Ray J, let me help you out if you're listening. All right. RICO is not where the Puerto Ricans come from. All right. That's a totally different thing. I know it's what you're thinking. You see her say she's Puerto Rican. First of all, she's kind of more Middle Eastern. But 2, that is not how this works, Ray J. Get off the internet. All right. And by the way, I understand why you're trying to get your lick back, because the first time you had a chance to screw her, you didn't do a good job. So now you're trying to do it well. But brother, you need to maybe move on. Find Courtney. She's out there. Courtney's still out there.
Oh, she's married.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is Ray J's case?
Ray J's case is really low. But to answer the thing that the algoriters are saying about her passing the bar, if we weren't clear about this, you could pass the bar and still not get admitted to practice because you are rejected for not having moral character and fitness. So that's why she cares about this, because as she studies, she was like, I don't want this all to be about nothing, only to find out that because I'm a horrible person as well. I was like, where are you going with that, brother? That I can't get admitted to the bar.
All right, now from the courtroom of reputation to the courtroom of petty. An ice cream shop fights where Tyra Banks says this ain't business, it's a shakedown with sprinkles. All right, our 4th case, and I need to know what is going on here. The last case is about Tyra Banks reportedly asking a court for more. Reports are saying that the court is asking for more than $50,000 in sanctions in a dispute tied to a scrapped plan to open an ice cream shop in Washington, D.C. Okay, so it's a scrap plan. All right, she's essentially telling the judge they're not litigating, they are leveraging my name. And listen, courts hate one thing more than bad contracts, and that's weaponizing people weaponizing the courtroom for pressure. I really want someone to break this down. Did she have a lease? Did she not have a lease? What's going on in this case? What is a scrap plan? I definitely feel like this feels like some type of abuse of some sorts because they know she's popular. And geez, Attorney Carter, hopefully you can bring some sense to all of this. What is this sanction stuff? What is this $50,000 they're looking for?
All right. So this is simple. Remember, Tyra was going to start this big ice cream empire. All right. But then she started eating all the profits and backed out. Right. and so what happens is the guy said, hey, you didn't pay me any of my rent, etc. I'm suing you. And he sued her personally. The problem is he didn't have an agreement with her. He had an agreement with her LLC. And when it came time to sue her in D.C., she said, I don't live in D.C. I'm Australian, mate. And she even put on a fake accent and everything, all right? And so basically when they went to court, her lawyers went to court and said, you can't sue her. We don't have jurisdiction over her. You have a contract with the LLC. And because you didn't, you named her, you knew better than this. All right, you lawyers, you trying to harass her. You trying to basically shame her into settling because now her name is on the thing. Sean been making fun of her weight. And as a result, we want our $50,000 back, which is the money it cost us to fly from Australia first class on a private jet because, you know, we ain't going coach like you broke people.
All right, Caramel 1977 said, ain't nothing gonna come good to Tyra until she is raped by Miss J. Period.
You didn't do the color purple with the hands.
That is sorry. All right. That is horrible. That is horrible what she's doing to Miss J. Nisha Phillips says Kim probably happy Ray J and the tape put her on, but hate him nowadays. Yeah, because she can't. And then Fuzzy Bigelow 777 says Tyra is going very Joan Crawford on us with her eyebrows and her business practices. She's having problems with her ice cream biz in Australia too, right? Brenda K says the case will melt away like all that ice cream. And Daniel Cameron says Tyra over there in her trench coat in denial about Netflix special. Just let it go, Tyra. All right, Attorney Turner, talk to me really quickly. Is there a case here, or is this a battle where those lawyers will probably spend more? That leasing company will probably spend more money in lawyer fees than the $50 that they'll get for what they're asking for.
Well, the interesting thing about the 50,000 is that Tyra's trying to get the 50,000 now. So because they sued the wrong person or the wrong entity and didn't have jurisdiction, they actually dropped their case against her, which I think was for like $10 million or something like that, because it was for a 10-year lease. And so after they did that, Tyra's lawyers came back on the offense and said, you only did this to harass her, and we want $50,000 back for our
lawyer fees.
Right. So that's where we are now. And actually, I think it was pretty shrewd of Tyra's lawyers. I would have done it.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I'm not gonna. If you're trying to trying to take advantage of me, you're gonna pay for my lawyer fees. All right. Okay. So on the strength of the case, how strong is Tyra's case, Attorney Carter?
It's very strong, and the good lesson for the A-listers, not the outgraders, but the A-listers. Remember how that broke brother always tell you to get your baby an LLC? Don't get your 3-year-old an LLC. Get her a Barbie. But if you Tyra Banks, LLC helped a lot. It protected her. See, because when they sued her, she said, that ain't my business. That's the LLC. You talk to them. That ain't me. And so you can see how having an entity between you personally and your business helps a whole lot. So she's going to get her 50 grand back, but they're going to sue her LLC too.
Yeah, I teach that in my MBA class, entrepreneurship class. Do you get a sole proprietor? Do you get an LLC, or do you get a corporation? All right, Attorney Turner, how strong of a case do you think Tyra has against the leasers? I mean, against the people that are after her?
I think that Tyra has a very strong case at this moment because they haven't decided to repackage it and sue her again. And so I think that if that happens, she's likely going to drop her 50,000 case. I also think that she has a decent case against Attorney Carter because he keeps trying to body shame her. I'm not here for it. So A-listers, women everywhere, we are rolling at dawn to get Attorney Carter and get.
Oh my goodness! No, we are not suing our co-workers. What are you going over there, Attorney Turner? What are you going through, ma'am? We're not doing that. Okay.
He keeps body shaming people.
In the immortal words,
looks like her slip is too big for him. That's his.
In the immortal words of Nene, all right, from Real Housewives of Atlanta, I say it what I said.
All right, we got another super chat here from I Am Heard 423. I Am Heard 423. Thank you so much. All right, Leandra 7140 says Sean ass is grass. Bro, don't let her bully you like that. Listen, one thing that we've got to admit is that she has gotten larger. She used to be so rail thin, and she has gotten larger. So, maybe he likes some thinner on the thin side. But anyway, all right, A-listers, it's that time of the show where you get to decide who's guilty and who's not. All right, this is where you run the courtroom. Get down in that chat, vote case by case. I need for you to type guilty or not guilty. Be sure to get ready to type guilty or not guilty for the Court of Public Opinion rules. Now, we don't move on until we have at least 3 guilty votes or 3 not guilty votes. All right, first up, case number 1. Is Kanye West guilty or not guilty of abusing that contractor? Is Kanye West guilty or not guilty abusing that contractor? Miss Monica says guilty. All right, that's 1 guilty. Nisha Phillips says guilty. And SL Warrior says guilty. That's 3. Kanye West, in the Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, you've been found guilty. Guilty as charged. Next up, Don Lemon. Is Don Lemon guilty or not guilty of emotionally distressing that woman? Is Don Lemon guilty or not guilty of causing distress to that woman? Oh, Brian Simone says not guilty. Monique says guilty. Mimi Miss Monica says not guilty. SL Warrior says not guilty. All right, Don Lemon, in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, you've been found not guilty of charges. Next up is Ray J, guilty or not guilty of trying to ruin Kim K's life? All right, is Ray J guilty or not guilty of trying to ruin Kim K's ability to become a lawyer? Drop down in the chat. Is Ray J guilty or not guilty of trying to ruin Kim K's life? Nisha Phillips says guilty. Brian Simone says guilty. Lady Chanel says guilty. Colette Davis says guilty. All right, but Brenda K says not guilty. Blaze Brown Robertson says not guilty, but we got our 3 guilties. Ray J, in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, you've been found guilty. Guilty as charged. All right, last but not least, is Tyra Banks guilty or not guilty of trying to get her money back? No. Is the leasing company guilty or not guilty of, well, no, it would be Tyra Banks. Is Tyra Banks guilty or not guilty of trying to get her money back? Is Tyra Banks guilty or not guilty of trying to get her money back? Lady Chanel says not guilty. Brian Simone says not guilty. Is she guilty or not guilty? And Brooke Robinson 6084 says not guilty. All right, in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, Tyra, you have been found not guilty, but you are guilty of not being nice to Miss J. You are found guilty. Guilty and charged for that.
Of eating too much ice cream, girl. Stop it. You own the place. You ain't got to eat all right?
Oh, God. So we're going to let you have it. All right, everybody. Tonight we learned something really simple. In wage cases, the loudest voice is not the celebrity, it's the spreadsheet. In protest cases, the key isn't who's loud, it's who did what on video and why. In reputation wars, legal buzzwords can become legal liabilities, especially when careers depend on credibility. And in business disputes, the courts can tell the difference between a contract problem and a pressure campaign. All right, in real court, they're innocent until proven guilty. But in this court, we decide who we want to be guilty. And that's why it's called the Court of Public Opinion. Now, I'm your Judge, Al Reynolds. This is Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. Please be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, be sure to hit that share button. As always, don't forget to turn on your notifications because we are on a new day, Monday and Thursday, still at the same time, 9:30. But in the future, starting March 1st, we will be going to 1 hour. As always, for all of those algorithms, don't forget we are putting you to rest. And today, moving forward, we are called the A-listers. All the A-listers jump down into that chat right now with an applause or with the letter A. All A-listers jump down in the chat with the letter A, please. One more time, all A-listers jump down in the chat with an A for A-listers. Once again, I also want to thank everybody who were so gracious and gave us a super chat. Let me go back through that really quickly since we have a little bit of time left. Thank you,
Your Honor, are you going to tell them about your TikTok? You finally, all right, finally in 2026 got on TikTok.
I have a TikTok. Yes, come on over to my TikTok. I forgot. Please come over to my TikTok. I think it's at the L Reynolds. That's my TikTok. Please come over to my TikTok. We're going to start chopping down some of this Sean Carter humor and some of this Sean Carter humor and this Shaitan Turner lusting. We're going to break it down because it makes no damn sense that we can't monetize off of these ladies. As always, to everybody that did extend their super chat, Caramel 1977, I thank you. I am her. I thank you. I'm looking right here for all of them. I am her. I appreciate you. Let's see. Caramel 1977. Thank you. Brenda K. Thank you so much. Danielle Cameron, as always, thank you so much. Who else gave us a super chat? Let me see. I'm scrolling here. My apologies. Leandria 7140, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, Danielle Cameron, I think we said thank you for the super chat. And I thought that, oh, yes, Bernard Carey Smith, thank you for jumping it off in the super chat. I appreciate all of you. Everyone have a good night. And thank you for joining us on Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. Court is now adjourned.